Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and I thought we could talk a couple minutes about She-Hulk. Well, as many of you know, we got a new She-Hulk trailer this week, and although the CGI was a little sketchy, we did find out quite a bit about the upcoming series. Now, we did see the return of a few MCU gamma-powered characters. That would be the Hulk and the Abomination. But I don't know if you guys were paying attention, I noticed something pretty major about the Incredible Hulk. Let's talk a couple minutes about the Hulk's arm, which appears to either have healed or we're actually sitting someplace else on the timeline, but I had a couple theories about that and I thought we could dive into both of them. Now let's be clear, these are theories, nothing's been confirmed by Marvel Studios, but there are a couple clues in this initial teaser trailer that we can draw from and it might give us a couple of ideas about what's going on. So, theory number 1. Now, one of the mainstream theories right now about why the Hulk's arm does look the way that it is this in fact takes place during the Blip. That would be during that 5-year period after Thanos dusted everybody leading into Endgame. As many of you know, it was during Endgame when the Hulk sustained that injury to his arm. In the Shang-Chi post-credit scene, we saw Bruce Banner with his arm still in the sling. And that's a good bit of time after the Endgame event. Additionally, the directors of Endgame have made it pretty clear the Hulk sustained a permanent injury to his arm. It's not something that's going to naturally heal. There's a distinct possibility that many of these events actually occurred during the Blip, and because of that, the Hulk still doesn't have that injury to his arm, but it does allow the She-Hulk story to be told in that vacuum and then just carry her into the modern MCU. We've had multiple movies and no reference to her yet, so that would seem a bit odd to me. And this leads us to theory number 2, which is a direction I actually think Marvel Studios is very, very likely to go. Now, as many of you know, Bruce Banner is not only a scientist, but he has actually experimented on himself as the Hulk. We saw him actually make this deal with the Hulk to become what we're calling Smart Hulk or Professor Hulk, which we saw in Endgame, who ultimately sustained the injury and appears to be the same character we're seeing here. Given the fact we see a very, very high-tech lab in this trailer, it appears to me Bruce Banner has been utilizing that big brain of his and trying to figure out some of his problems. I actually think Bruce may have healed himself with gamma energy, and that alone might have major implications for the future of that character. Now, as Marvel's developing the She-Hulk, I actually think they might be regressing the Hulk. There have been multiple rumors suggesting where this series can end, and one of them we heard a little ways back, but was never confirmed, was that the Hulk would go full rage monster once again. I actually wonder if that's exactly what's happening here. I genuinely suspect that Bruce may have healed his own arm, and with that technology, he's learned how to heal the Hulk. Depending on what happens in the She-Hulk series, there is the distinct possibility that he may sustain another injury, turn to this process once again to heal himself, but due to whatever circumstances are going on in the story, it goes awry and once again reverts him back to the classic rage monster Hulk we got to know in the early parts of the MCU. I know many fans want that version of the Hulk, and this would actually give us a logical path back to that, all while elevating Jennifer Walters to a very different status than the Hulk had before, allowing both characters to exist pretty easily inside the Marvel Universe. They could also take this opportunity to introduce a quite different version of the Hulk into the MCU, and that would be Mr. Fix-It. Joss Whedon actually tried to add the Grey Hulk to Age of Ultron, but that never completely worked out, and Mr. Fix-It is distinctly different than just a Grey Hulk. That'll be a pretty interesting evolution, and this could be a great opportunity to go down that path, but we'll have to see what Marvel Studios does. Now, obviously, we don't have any details on the Hulk series beyond this trailer. It did give us a couple clues and some teases of characters to come, but we're probably going to get a lot more material before this show comes out, and this riddle might be answered by then, but I suspect Marvel Studios will keep the exact nature of the Hulk's healed arm under wraps until we finally get the series. But until that happens, what do you guys think? Why do you think the Hulk's arm is healed in the She-Hulk trailer? And if this didn't happen with the Blip, do you think Bruce Banner has been once again experimenting on himself with gamma radiation? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.